Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video. This is Nick G with Logically Knicks, here to give you another video, this time to re-rank some of the teams in the Eastern Conference. Just want to give you a different take on some of the teams that we're going to be up against, or some of the teams that actually just need to be knocked down a notch because of the events that happened this offseason. First and foremost, the Chicago Bulls. Let's talk about Lonzo Ball and how he affects the Chicago Bulls. Lonzo Ball changes their offense, of course. We all know he's a good point guard. I think sometimes he can be overrated as a point guard because he can't drive to the basket. He does not, but he's improving slowly. One of the things that makes him lethal is his shooting and also his defense. Without Lonzo Ball, the Chicago Bulls, their defense actually plummeted. And also too, their win percentage and totals have plummeted. The big thing is that Lonzo Ball changes their fast break offense as well as their three-point offense. Not to mention the defense diminishes. DeMar DeRozan is gonna have to take on a bigger load. Zach LaVine, you just got a big contract. You gotta take on a bigger load too. But Zach LaVine has not led the Chicago Bulls. Not in the way that we're talking about that Lonzo Ball, or in a way that Lonzo Ball would affect the game. The big thing here is that they're gonna fall down just as they have the last half of last year when Lonzo went down. Into the playoffs, they weren't competitive. DeMar DeRozan, he was good. He was damn near MVP, but there were ancillary factors to why he actually had a lot of success, or he could succeed. Caruso was incredible defensively, Lonzo was good defensively, and Lonzo was a 42% shooter from three. That changes the dimensions of the court when you have a 40% shooter from three, as well as Zach LaVine, who can shoot very efficiently and also has burst to get to the rim. They don't have that. They do have Patrick Williams back, a big wing that could defend. But Patrick Williams is now in year 3, and he lost 1 year of his career so far because of a leg injury. All right, well, let's see. Next team is the Boston Celtics. We all know about Ime Udoka. I hope I'm saying that right, but that's an unfortunate situation, but I'm not going to comment on that. I do think that his effect on the team was going to be diminished anyway, because he is one of those loudmouth coaches that kind of wears on a team. But they did make the finals. I'm not discounting that. They do have Tatum. They do have Jaylen Brown. But the new coach that's going to take over for Udoka this year is going to be rookie of all rookies. Like, this is his first time. They lost Will Hardy, who was a veteran and a very good coach. I think Will Hardy was the backbone of the coaching department there, or the coaching for that team. And that's going to affect them very negatively in the future, of course. And it's going to benefit the Knicks to some degree. It might be extra wins, even though we beat Boston very well, but in the standings from a competitive standpoint, I think that Boston will be diminished. And I think that may make us be somewhere closer to the third best team in our division, which is still the most difficult division in basketball. Toronto, they are a staple. You know that Boston and also the Nets are going to be good. We may move up. I don't know who's going to move down. But I do think the three teams in our division are not going to win as many games as they have in the past. The next team to look at, too, that we need to re-rank is the Charlotte Hornets. You might think that Charlotte doesn't deserve to be on this list, but Charlotte actually was a 43-win team. They were ahead of us in the standings. The reason why you have to re-rank them and also push us up and give us more wins is because, of course, Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges he did something dumb, another dumb thing, but they also lost Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell he's good, but he's gone. I don't think he affected their defense positively, but now they have two young centers. One they drafted this year and one they drafted last year. We technically gave them one last year, but hey. Also, too, they brought back in Steve Clifford. I think that Steve Clifford is going to affect them defensively, but he lacks creativity offensively, unless he comes in with a good offensive coordinator and is willing to step back. I think that Charlotte is going to be the biggest drop-off and might be a lottery team this season. And the reason why is because Lonzo Ball has to do it all. He does not play defense at all. With that being said, the next team is going to be the Washington Wizards. Washington is led by a very injury-prone player, at least to me. Last few seasons, you have Bradley Beal playing 40 games last year, 60 the year before, and 57 the year before that. He's had a couple good, healthy seasons, but for the most part, Bradley Beal has not been a healthy player. Add that to Kristaps Porzingis. Recipe for disaster. You I dare someone to try to get that guy to stay healthy for an entire season. It does not happen. It's never happened in his entire career. Now, the older he gets, he may become wiser at using his body, but I truly don't think that Kristaps Porzingis will be healthy this year or the entire year, unless he's willing to cut his minutes down to like 22 minutes per game, and Dallas has tried that before, and it does not or has not worked in the past. Kyle Kuzma will have a lot of weight on his shoulders, and if you look at some of the draft picks that the Wizards have had, Johnny Davis was terrible in Summer League. He averaged 8.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists, but his shooting was 29.6% from the field. He was 33% from three, which is good, but for him, but not great. I think it needs to be at least 38, but I digress. The other guys like Kispert, who's a sharpshooter, he shot 29% from three last year. That's god awful. You add that to the other guys, Denny Avdia, who's a good defensive player, and also, they're just not good enough. And I think that they may actually be more lottery team than competition for a playoff team, and it may bump us up also. Last team to actually talk about is the Detroit Pistons. Detroit, simply put, they improved through and through. Number 5 pick, they got Ivy. They got Cade Cunningham, number 1 last year. I think that they got a haul of good young players. They're going to be very competitive. And they also made that Brogdon trade to get him from Utah. And that I think that propels them too. Why I'm bringing them up is I expect them to get more wins. And they may end up being competitive. Why is that being mentioned here is because they may also, knock off some of our competition. But the big thing here is that they actually gave us a draft pick. And we own one of their draft picks. So if we own that draft pick and they're better, it may convey sooner, making that draft pick more and more valuable as the season progresses. By the trade deadline, if that pick is definitely going to convey, then we might be looking at packaging it with someone to get a good player back, like Derrick Rose when we did that Derrick Rose trade, and that could propel us even further or even better to be a better team. The last team to mention is Atlanta. I don't like the fit of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, but something to just think about. Clint Capella, always hurt. DeAndre Hunter, always hurt. John Collins, he sometimes gets hurt, but he's pissed at people. He's going to be third on the depth chart or third most important player. They also have Inyaka Okongwu, who is a good young draft prospect that came in from UCLA or USC, sorry, and he actually needs minutes and is going to sacrifice Clint Capella's minutes. But he's young. Add that to the fact that Bogey's always hurt. DeJounte Murray can get injured. He has gotten injured in the past. But him and Trae Young, are they going to play off of each other well? DeJounte Murray is improving from 3, but he doesn't spot up well. Trae Young can spot up and shoots the ball very well from 3, but he never gives the ball up. And it may cause a clash. We'll see. All right, so the last part is, look, the Knicks did improve. We added Brunson. Rose is in the best shape of his life. Cam is also in the best shape of his life. IQ, Mitch, RJ, and Randall, best shape of their life collectively, right? I do expect the Knicks to actually have a top tier bench. Let's say the best bench in basketball as they did the last 2 seasons. I think that they can get back there. I think IQ is going to make a step this year. I think also too, Cam Reddish is going to be a decent X factor to have. But RJ Barrett, I think, is the one that's going to be the catalyst. He needs to have a full, good season. No more of this second half, whatever it is. Like, he's always had good second halves, bad first halves. And it's about time that he puts an entire season together. He's had good starts, bad, like the bad November, December month. He's just waffled and going up and down. I would like to see him just balance out his game and have a steady, good season. And I think he could do that. He's poised. Coming into the season right before his big contract and his pay raise. So I think that the team improved. Not the type of improvement some people wanted, like Donovan Mitchell and stuff like that, but I do think the team has improved. And with that being said, I'm signing out. I think the Knicks could become a playoff team. I think those 5 or 6 teams that I mentioned, they are actually going to not be as good as we thought. And it may help us. Anyway, signing out. Peace.